Hi everybody, good morning. Today's Thursday and I have a couple different messages for you. So here we go. Message one, yesterday Miss Laura and her video showed you a water experiment. So first she talked a lot about water and how it can be in different states or it can look different at different times. So sometimes water is liquid, like the kind of water we put in a glass and it flows and you can drink it. So it's liquid. Sometimes it's solid though, and it's hard like ice. And sometimes water can be what we call a gas. That means it's not hard and it's not liquid. We can't actually pick it up. It's something that floats through the air. And a lot of times you can't see gas, but water makes a special kind of gas called steam. And if you did the experiment like Miss Laura, then you could actually see some of that steam. So she went down to her kitchen and she had a bowl of ice and she had a bowl of water, and then she put a pan on the stove, so with heat and fire underneath it. So this is something that you need a grown-up's help with. But she put some water in that pan and then she let it sit for a few minutes because it needed some time to get warm and then get hot. But when she came back, the water was bubbling and you could see like white puffs. It kind of almost looked like smoke coming off the water in the hot pan, but that's called steam. And that's when water is so hot, it's just moving around so fast, it floated up and left. And that was really cool to see. So I hope you get a chance to try that so you can see how water can be solid and hard like ice, or liquid like normal water, or a gas, the steam. So give it a try. Ask a grown-up and say, can we boil some water so I can see the steam? Yeah. Or like Miss Laura said, you can get some ice and put it in a bowl and then just let it sit and see how long does it take the ice to melt and turn into water. I wonder. You have to see. Okay, for message two, I just wanted to give you some facts about fingers, tongues, and dog noses. Fingers, tongues, and dog noses are pretty special things because they have special parts to them that are unique to each person. That means every person's is a little bit different and nobody has the same one as anybody else. So if you look at your hand and you look at your fingertips, that means the part right at the top of your finger, not the nail, that's the back, but on this side. If you look really closely, and I don't think my camera will be able to show you, but you look at yours, use your eyes. If you look really closely, you'll notice that your fingertip has little lines in it. So you'll see those little lines, and everybody's look a little bit different. They're kind of different shapes. That's called your fingerprint. And all your fingers have them. They have fingerprints, and your fingerprints are just yours. Nobody else on the whole world has fingerprints that look like yours. Pretty cool, huh? If you look at your tongue, you might need to go to the mirror for this one, but if you look at your tongue in the mirror, you'll notice it has like tiny little bubbles or bumps on it. Those are taste buds, but kind of the same way as your finger, your tongue's little bumps are sitting in a way that's just yours. Nobody's tongue looks like yours. Nobody's tongue looks like mine. This is my tongue. And nobody else's looks like mine. We all have the same shape, and a lot of times they're about the same color, but those little bumps, my little bumps will look different than your little bumps. And everybody has their own little bumps on their tongue. It's kind of like the fingerprint. Pretty cool, huh? And finally, a dog's nose is kind of like a person's fingerprint. Dog noses, if you look really closely, if you have a dog or next time you see a dog, and maybe you can ask, can I look at your dog's nose? Dogs' noses also have like little lines or little dots on them maybe. And that dog is the only dog that has lines that look like that. All the other dogs have different kinds of lines on their noses. So fingerprints, tongues, and dog noses. All over the world, there's so many of them, right? but everybody has their own, and it doesn't look like anybody else's if you look very closely at all the little details. So I thought that was pretty cool to learn. Yeah. Finally, for message 3, I thought we could try doing some paint with salt. I've been really enjoying painting, and Miss Laura did an experiment with salt a few days ago on ice cubes, and I thought, you know what, I want to see if I can do painting, and then what will happen if I add salt onto my painting. So what you need is a piece of paper. Here's mine. You'll need something to paint with, so I'm going to use my paintbrush. I have a bowl of water because I'm going to be using my tray of watercolor paints. So these are dry right now, and what I'll need to do is dip my brush in water, and then I'll be able to paint with it. We've used them before in Red Room. And then you'll need salt. So I have 2 bowls of salt here, and the reason I have 2 is because I found in my kitchen I have 2 different kinds of salt. I have one kind of salt where it's really tiny and small pieces, and then I have another kind of salt. They're still tiny and small, but this is called coarse salt, so the pieces are a little bit bigger. So I'm going to do kind of an experiment. I'm going to see what happens if I use the coarse salt or the bigger salt pieces, and what happens when I use the fine salt or the smaller salt pieces, right? So I'll move this out of the way. And first, I'm just going to do some painting on my paper. I can choose what colors I want. Let's see. I think I want to do, kind of like this purpley blue color. I think that looks interesting. And I'm just going to put some on my paper like that. And then before it dries, I'm going to sprinkle the salt on. Just a little pinch. Okay. I'm going to let that sit for a minute, and we'll see what happens. And while we're waiting for that, I'm going to pick a new color. Let's see. Oh, I kind of want to see what this brownish red color looks like on my paper. And it helps if you have a paint that's really wet and has like water with it, because salt, and this time I'm going to use the coarse salt, those bigger salt pieces, likes to soak up water. Interesting. So I can see the salt that's on the paint has kind of changed colors, and some of it's going to roll off, and that's okay. The salt that's on the paint has kind of changed colors a little bit. It's soaking up some of that color from the watercolor paint. And it's sticking a little bit to the paint. So some of the salt rolled off because it's on the paper, but the salt where it's touching the paint is sticking. It's kind of staying wet there. So my painting will kind of feel sandy almost when I'm done with it. I'm going to add some more. Let's see, what other colors can we try? I'm going to put some green on here. And you can paint whatever you want. I'm just painting shapes and blobs because I'm wondering what the salt is doing. So I'm going to do the fine salt again, those tiny salt pieces. Here. Let's do one more with the coarse salt. How about, how about this dark purple color? I think that would be pretty. And I'll do the coarse salt, the bigger salt pieces for this one again. Yeah. So, if you decide to try this at home, yep, there goes all the salt not sticking to the wet paint. But if you decide to try this at home, I'm wondering what happens when all the paint is dry. I wonder if the salt will stay sticking, or I wonder if you rub it off, if the paint underneath it looks different. So you might have to experiment a little yourself as well and see what happens when you add salt to your painting. Yeah. This is also something that maybe you could try with sand if you have sand at your house. Sand is sometimes an interesting thing to add to your painting as well, but it's a way that you can change your painting a little bit. Instead of having just paint, you sprinkle something on top when it's still wet and see what happens, and kind of do your own experiment that way. So maybe you'll try it at home, and we love to see it. If you do try it, you can ask your grown-up to send us a picture. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your day. Miss Laura will be back with another video on Friday, and I will see you next Monday for our last week of videos. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.